Have you ever had one of those travel days where you're stuck between checkout and flight and you're just like, what now? Or maybe you have a long layover in a city and you're trying to figure out what to do, but you still have luggage you have to deal with. Well, that is going to be us today. Our cruise checkout is around 9 a.m. and our flight is at 6 p.m. So I'm going to give you your ultimate guide on how you can make the most of a travel gap day or your layover. We decided to turn this awkward bit of time into a mini adventure of the city we're in, which happens to be Tampa. So this is how to make the most of those moments where you only have a few hours in a city. So our first order of business will be to get rid of our bag. So you probably know what I'm already going to say. The key to being able to maximize and absolutely enjoy your entire layover is packing light. I have my carry-on. I don't know if you can see a little bit of that. I have my carry-on and I have my backpack and my purse, so I'm able to maneuver through the world with ease and with breeze. But if you're bringing 3, 4, a million bags and you're having to check 3, 4, a million bags, then it may be hard for you to move around. But we're gonna take this party off the ship, and then I found a free streetcar that we can take to the baggage storage spot. So if you're gonna try and take up every last inch of your travel day, then I would say maybe consider pack light. The other thing is choose your outfit wisely. You are more than likely going to be wearing it all day and then potentially for your entire flight. So pick something that you know is going to be comfortable. My personal recommendation, these Uniqlo Airism t-shirts are amazing. And then I got some linen pants. So nothing too restrictive, but I want to be covered, but it's also really hot here in Florida. So this is my travel uniform for the day, but I can also walk around in it all day and be just fine.
How y'all doing, huh?
Let's see. Train station. Light rail station. That'll work. 300 feet. Comes every 12 minutes. And how do I get there? It's right on the other side of this parking lot. I see it. So let's go left and over. Let's see. We made it to the train station. Now I gotta find where we're going. It's called Gaspar's Grotto. It's a restaurant. 5 stops. Public transportation is truly one of my favorite ways to get around. But anyway, back to the luggage. So like I mentioned before, your primary problem with layovers is going to be your baggage. If you're carrying with just a backpack, you can wear it all day if you want. If you have any type of roller bag, you're probably not going to want to carry it all day unless you're going to do a cafe and work kind of thing. So you have a handful of options. Let's get into it. The first one, and really the one I recommend, is to utilize services like websites like Bounce, Luggage Hero. Those are the 2 biggest ones for luggage storage. You can put in what you want to be near or where you're going, and it'll give you some options. For those, you're typically paying per day, so per bag per day. So for each bag, it'll be between $5 and $8. Another thing I recommend, I did have to do this trip, is if you search your city luggage storage, there may be other options, other competitors. So I looked up Tampa luggage storage, and there was one called, I need to put it in because I forgot what it was called, but it was just a different type of website. I looked up the reviews and it looked good, and it had one within a block or 2 of the activity we're doing. So that's where we're headed now. That one, for 4 bags, we paid $31. So that was the 4 bags plus whatever they include for insurance type situation. So if you have bags that you need to store, that's really your main option. But like I said, you can carry your bags. If you're coming from the airport, some airports have luggage lockers, not many, but you can check into that. And then if you're checking out of a hotel, almost almost all hotels have some type of concierge that'll hold your bags. So ask them. That is really the easiest and the freest option for my hotel stayers. But for everyone else, you are more than likely going to have to pay someone to watch your bags. And it's not crazy expensive. It's like the cost of an Uber. Also, if you don't want to give them all your bags, you could just give them the roller bag or just give them the backpack. Flexibility. Right here. It's hot. Okay. Woo. You see how much sweat's on my face? Y'all see this? I'm gonna try fix anyway. Luggage has been dropped off. Andy at Gaspar's Grotto, incredibly helpful. So we just gave him the backpacks and the backpacks and the suitcases. I kept my purse, she'll keep hers. And I guess we'll get started on our adventures. Our main activity doesn't start till 11, so we have about an hour. I think I kind of want a coffee. And this is a tangent, okay? Does anyone else only drink hot coffee? Or is that just me? Like, I don't want a nice coffee. It's 81 degrees and I still want my hot latte. So let me know if anyone else feels that way. But we'll start walking and see what we come up with. Okay, now let's sit. First of all, love a good patio. Love a good scalding hot latte. Also love the neighborhood birds. I've got a mom, a rooster, and like 4 chicks here. So we're gonna hope that I can record this video without bothering them too much. But I'm very nervous of this rooster. Ignore me looking at it. I gotta go. I'm gonna be so honest. It was not worth risking my life and ankles to beef with the children of these chickens. But anyway, we're back. All right, so the next thing we are going to talk about are the activities. There's a wide range of activities you can do depending on how long you're staying, where you're at, and what your budget is. You can go from cheap, free to real expensive. In most cities, there's like some street, some river walk, some downtown something that you can walk for free, whether it's a shopping district, restaurant district, something by the water, the beach, arts district. You can find different areas of town and simply walk around and peruse. If you are an excellent window shopper and have wonderful self-control, this is the free activity for you, okay? Other things I like to explore, libraries. Some cities have some crazy libraries, okay? Depending on the day of the week, sometimes museums will have free days if it's like a Saturday or maybe the first like Tuesday of every month. Different museums can have no fare. Google, ChatGPT, and social media will be your best bets for finding activities like that. My favorite way to explore is not necessarily free, but it is low cost. And you might think I'm crazy, but hear me out. All right, public transportation. A lot of cities have just a decent little bus train system that goes around downtown. And taking a bus from one end of the line to the other, you can see so much stuff. And even better is if you take it all the way to the end of the line, on the way back, you know where you want to stop at. So in Tampa, they have a free streetcar. We use it as transportation just to get here, but some of them are open air and you can ride them up and down downtown and have a grand little time. We also just stumbled upon a farmer's market. It was pretty small, but it had, something to do. You can also, depending on what time you land, you probably want some sustenance. And there's nothing like trying coffee shops in different cities. There's no logo. So this is a lavender latte, which is also where I'm filming this because we came to sit and get out of the heat for a bit. Now, if you want to maximize your trip, you're trying to pack in everything you can, which don't overschedule yourself. That is a tip. But if you're trying to get some real activities in, then my recommendation would be to use sites like Get Your Guide. And I believe TripAdvisors may also have this, but Get Your Guide has a feature when you're searching where you can type in not only the date, but the time of day you'll be there so that you can filter out which activities will actually be available. So I knew that we would be able to get off the ship, like for this trip, we would be able to get off the ship before 10, probably around 9. And then we would need, our flight leaves at 6. So like latest, I'm thinking like 2 hours to be there, right? So maybe be there by 4 at the latest. So I'm looking for activities between then. And whenever you put that filter in on Get Your Guide, it'll pull up all of the options on there. And I will put my link for Get Your Guide below if you wanted to check out the activities they have. But that is how, if you wanted to do some structured paid for activities, it also is a great way to find some discounted tickets on museums and things like that. But that brings me to what we are doing today. I found a conveniently timed food tour. Leaves at 11 and it's about 3 hours. So that means it ends at 2, which would give us enough time to walk around the area that it ends at, go back and get our luggage, and then take some form of transportation to the airport, probably an Uber. If you are not new to this channel, then you know that food tours are one of the best ways and one of our favorite ways to just see the city. You get, especially if you go in the beginning of your trip, if you are staying somewhere longer, you get to see so many different options and restaurants that if you ever want to go back, you have the rest of your trip to hit these spots again. You're also typically paired with a tour guide that knows a lot about the city you're in and can give you additional tips if you ask for. We always like to ask our tour guides, who end up being local, different places to go and things that we should see. So I will show y'all some clips from our tour that starts here in about 40 minutes. And I'm really excited for that one. And this will probably be one of the more busy Gap travel days that we've had. Before we get to the tour though, I do want to give you guys 5 key tips on making the best of your layover, your gap between cruise and airplane, or just your Gap travel day in general. So the first one regarding luggage is, if possible, book your storage in advance. Not every facility that can hold luggage on some of these websites has unlimited space. And if you are in a popular destination if you're in a city that maybe has a cruise docking that day or has a bunch of flights, then other people may have the same idea as you and they may want to store their luggage. So you want to try and get your reservations in early. And it is best if you can know what time you want to drop your stuff off at, because sometimes they ask you to be time specific. Number 2 is, in order to get your scheduling down, try and plan one anchor activity. If you are going to do something that requires like spending money and some time, have that be your one activity for the day, and then you can plan your entire day around that so that you know whatever you're doing, this is going to be the tour, the experience, the show that will center the day around. And so everything else can just fit around that. And with that, number 3 is to not overschedule. You want to have fun and enjoy your day, but you don't want to be overly stressed, because then you're going to wish you just sat at the airport and didn't stress yourself out running over the city. So try and fit what you can in, but don't pack your schedule so tight that you don't have any room for changes, flexibility, or cancellation. Number 4 is to stay near the airport or port or wherever you're at. Now is not the time to venture the world, okay? Some airports are not located near the city. You're gonna wanna stay close to where you need to be. So today we decided to stay near the cruise port, and then once we were done in this area, we're gonna head over to the hotel. But this makes it so we're not paying a bunch of money for transportations. We're not paying for like 4 and 5 Ubers, and everything is walkable. If you're doing a layover from a hotel, you wanna stay near the hotel, so if something happens, you can go back. You don't wanna miss your flight for this, you know? That's the important part. Final tip, which maybe some of my more type A viewers would never have this issue, but for everyone else, don't forget to add in your travel time to go to the airport. That's what we're here for. The end of this is making the flight. Like I just said, you're going to want to remember, oh, where I'm at or where I'm going, it'll take maybe 10 minutes to get there. Calculate for traffic. Add some time in for a wreck maybe. Not you, of course, but on the freeway. What if you get to the airport and that there's a TSA line and the inner terminal train is broken? Then what are you going to do? So factor in extra time for the commute to the airport and getting to your gate. Now if you have clear and pre-check, then you might be better situated than some people. And I do love my clear and pre-check. If you want to hear me talk about it, let me know, because I think it's worth it, but not everyone will. So if you want to hear my experience, we can definitely go over that. Those are the 5 tips and tricks for making the most of your Gap travel day and or layover. So I'm gonna go finish this coffee and then we can go to our anchor activity. The food tour was a success, and I will put the link to the one that we took down in the description. Once we were done, we still had some time to kill before we needed to head to the airport. So we went back and hopped on the free trolley that goes around Old Town and then downtown and sort of saw the sights. It went by the River Walk and some of the more shopping areas of downtown. And once we were done with that, we went back to pick up our luggage. We did it. Ooh. This is the restaurant that held our bags. We've walked, we've toured, we explored, we rode the trolley, picked up our bags, all in one piece, you know. They gave them all back. It was very secure. They like scan your QR code to make sure you're the right person to pick up the bags, so that's good. And now we do what everyone else does, catch an Uber, head to the airport. And just like that, we have made it to the airport. Like I mentioned before, we had plenty of time to get here, and then we got here and the flight's been delayed an hour, but that's okay. We absolutely made the most of our day. Days like this are some of my favorite because you don't need a hotel. It kind of feels like a bonus day you're working into your schedule, since typically the days that you are spending the night, you have those scheduled, you have a plan, and sometimes those in-between days can get kind of lost in the throw, but it's just nice to get some extra traveling in, and we also were able to see some things that we might want to do on our next trip to Tampa should we ever come back. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this gave you ideas for your next layover, for the next time you have between a cruise and a flight, or for your next gap travel day in your travels. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload, and comment below other ideas for activities that you would recommend people look up the next time they have a few extra hours in a city. Well, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys next time.